The word heretic comes from the Greek heretikos, the one who chooses. In the eyes of quasi-religious institutions, a heretic is the one who refuses the tradition, violates the form, and defies the consensus. By that standard, God himself is the first heretic, not in error or sin, but in sovereign freedom. For he chose Abraham, a pagan wanderer, and rejected the towers of Babel. He chose Jacob, the trickster, over the elder Esau. He chose David, the shepherd, over Saul, the people's king. He chose the crucified, not the crowned. And he chose to dwell in the flesh against every temple made by hands. Every time God acts, he defies the expected pattern. He chooses what the world would never choose: the poor, the outcast, the meek, the broken. Thus, God is the one who chooses against what man would choose. That is heresy in the eyes of quasi-religious institutions, but it is the freedom of the Spirit of God. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. Isaiah 55:8. And the electoi, the chosen, the elect, are not those who rose through priesthoods, synods, or bloodlines. They are those whom the heretic God called out of darkness, right from outside of the camp. The fishermen and tax collectors, the Samaritans and the Roman centurion, the thief on the cross, the Gentiles without the law, the nameless ones with faith. They are not the self-choosers, but the ones chosen by the great chooser, the one who sees the heart. And what are they chosen for? Not to rule, not to be safe, but to be conformed to the image of the Son, the one rejected, misunderstood, and murdered by the quasi-religious powers. The crucifixion of Christ was, from the world's view, a scandal, a divine contradiction, a Messiah who dies, a God who bleeds. This was not just offensive, it was heretical. Isaiah 53:12, he was numbered with the transgressors. Isaiah 53:4, we considered him smitten of God. And yet, it was God's own choice. He chose to be the stone the builders rejected, to establish a kingdom not of this world. In this light, the cross is the supreme act of heresy against every system of power, including so-called religious powers. So the elect are the sons and daughters of this heretic God, not because they chose rightly, but because they were chosen against the world's expectation. They don't belong to institutions, but to a spiritual body. They don't preserve forms, but live in the Spirit. They don't quote laws, but embody grace. They are fools to the world, but kings in the age to come. God is the original heretic because he always chooses the Spirit over the letter he has from the beginning. And his elect are those who allow themselves to be chosen, broken, and remade. God is the heretic, not because he errs, but because he refuses every system that traps him in stone and ritual. His sons are the elect, not because they rise to him, but because he stoops to them, calls them by name, and makes them sons through love. Organized, quasi-religious institutions cast him out. The world crucifies him, but the Spirit raises him, and those chosen in him, to life beyond law. He who chooses the cross chooses against the world, for he is himself chosen by God.